Hello again, it's JT at StayOnTheRise.com, the place where we take you from idea to reality for your, whether you want to do a mobile app or build a business around a web application or business-to-business type of application, walk you through the steps of how to take that idea, develop the things around it, and eventually reach success with that. And I had the opportunity yesterday of going to Atlanta, Georgia, meeting with a company that we're in some discussions of possibly merging or acquiring this company, merging it with a company that I have to kind of expand our marketplace. And on the way back, when the meeting ran a little bit long, and so I was going back to the airport, and I ran into the typical Atlanta traffic. If you've never been in Atlanta, if you're trying to go right through the middle of the city, which I had to do, it's stop and go, and even though there's like 6 lanes across, it completely comes to a standstill at times. 5 years ago, had I been in that situation, I would have been extremely frustrated. I would have been anxious and angry, yelling at myself, yelling at the other drivers, jumping in front of people, trying to find ways around it, and would have ended up getting to the airport probably no sooner, but deeply stressed and very, very frustrated. And I realized that yesterday I was just sitting there calmly and just, not being, a doormat and waiting, letting people go ahead of me, but driving reasonably, not getting angry, listening to music, and thinking about my next steps as I was making my way to the airport. It's quite a change. And this all comes along the avenue of what everybody suffers from. And you have to work hard to develop the habits to get over that. And that's the illusion of control. The reality is that we can't control people, places, or things outside ourselves. The only things that we truly have control over are our thoughts, our habits, and how we react to things. In the halls or in the rooms of AA, they start every meeting out with what's called the Serenity Prayer. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. It was developed by Reinhold Niebuhr, and it basically goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we have to approach things and realize that we are in control of very, very little. Now that doesn't mean we can't plan, that through experience or through other people's experiences, that we can't set up situations so that, for instance, if I'm going to the airport, I know that in Atlanta I need to leave 2 hours ahead of time. Okay, I can't just suddenly say I can control this. I'm going to go at 100 miles an hour and I'm going to get there in 30 minutes, because it does not work that way. If you can bring it down to any particular thing in your life, we have a tendency to get extremely frustrated and angry when things don't go our ways, because we always forget this. It's something that you have to embed into yourself, that truly you have no control. The only thing you have control over is yourself. And that's a certain amount of self-discipline that you have to work into everything. So basically you have to be reacting to situations in an adult fashion. You have to be reacting things and saying, okay, what did I learn from this situation if it was bad? If it was good, also, what did I learn from this? How can I repeat this? But not try to think that we have control over that situation. That's applicable to business, that's applicable to your life, that's applicable to anything where you're dealing with something outside of yourself. Napoleon Hill says that self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. And that's very true. To really be disciplined, to really be able to build your startup right, you have to be a master of your thoughts and your actions, which means that you have to control yourself, not try to control other people, places, or things. You have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to do that change, and you have to be willing to just let things go sometimes. Think of it this way. Let's say you're out and you're in if you like to sail, or if you're out in a boat. A lot of people think that you're controlling the boat, okay? And maybe if you have a motor, you might even believe that you have a little larger modicum of control over that boat. But let's say sailing. So you might be adjusting the sail, you might be trimming the sail, you might be changing the rudder to adjust your course. But turn it around a little bit differently in your mind. You're not really controlling the boat. All you're doing is you're reacting to the things around you and making subtle changes to make the boat go in your direction. You can't control the wind. You cannot control the current. You cannot control the waves. You cannot control the fact that a storm may blow in. All you can do is react in a positive fashion to keep the boat pointed in the direction that you want to go. And that's the same thing you have to do with your life. That's the same thing you have to do with your business. You have to set things up, plan, and make contingency plans. But when things happen, don't get frustrated, don't get angry. Look back and say, okay, that's a lesson learned. I didn't really have complete control over that situation anyway, so how can I prepare it better? So again, I hope this helps, and keep on working on developing those habits that allow you to accept things that you cannot change and have that courage to change the things you can, and the biggest thing, again, to have the wisdom to know the difference. So I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you the next time.